You're listening to The Ranch Sit-Down with your host, Shayne Hollinger.
This Texas A&M Aggie first picked up the guitar at the age of 3 and hasn't put it down since. My guest today, singer-songwriter Jacob Marshall. Thank you, buddy, for coming and chatting with us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Very nice to meet you. I understand you were writing and playing music like live in your teenage years.
Yes, sir. I played my first show down in Galveston when I was 13, I believe.
Wow.
I wasn't allowed inside the bar. I had to play on the sidewalk outside the bar. They used to bring me waters out. I had to go next door to go to the restroom.
Yeah, Galveston, man, that's humid. That's a tough place to play outside.
Summertime.
Holy cow. So how did you first get into music? I mean, was there somebody in your family that was a musician?
I'm actually the first musician in my family. My grandma that I never knew had a guitar that was stashed away under the bed at my great-grandma's house. And I pulled it out when I was 3-4 years old, and I just wanted to play it. And no one would let me take guitar lessons till I was 5 or 6, so I had to wait. And I'd just strum at that thing and try and figure it out, and ended up getting into it then, and just never quit.
That is funny. So they wanted you to live life a little bit, so they waited till you were 5.
Well, my parents were trying to put me in as soon as they could, but the people wouldn't have me.
So, like, you've pretty much, doing that young, you've pretty much known you were always going to have music in your life in some shape or form.
There was no option. It's just what I knew I was going to do. I didn't know what else to do.
You went to A&M.
Yes,
graduated.
Sir.
Congratulations. Did
Thank
you see
you.
I'm wearing some maroon for you
I
today?
appreciate
I did
it,
this
yeah.
just for you today, Jacob.
Thank you.
So what was your degree in?
Animal science.
Really?
Yes, sir.
You want to be a vet? You want to run a dairy? What do you
No,
want to do?
sir. I'm not smart enough to go to vet school. But I found out I've always played music, and then I started working at this barn when I was 15, and I realized I had a passion for, animals, specifically cattle, and so I went to school for that and did a specialization in beef cattle reproduction, and that's what I love that, and I love music.
So you're going to be a musician who probably owns his own cattle ranch, has his own line of beef.
Hopefully one day.
You'll be
That's
like
the
the Nolan Ryan of Texas music.
Yeah.
Is what we're looking for there.
That's what I'm going for.
That way, if the music thing doesn't actually pan out, you're still okay.
Yeah. I always say once I make enough money in music to buy my own place and my own herd, I'll play the local bars around wherever I'm living, and that works for me as long as I can keep writing my music and doing what I love.
Well, man, I think you honestly have a shot. Like, your songwriting is just next level.
Well, thank you so much.
That first song that we played of yours, Creek Don't Rise.
Yes, sir.
Man, the first time I heard your voice in that song, it's like, oh, this is something special.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we cut that one in my buddy's apartment in College Station.
In an apartment?
Yes, sir. And yeah, I was really excited to get that out. Actually, Wes Barlow came in and cut fiddle on that, and Wes Barlow came to the apartment in College Station. I was fangirling.
Did you make him uncomfortable?
I tried not to. I was like, man, I'm just hanging out with Wes Barlow. Like, how does this happen?
You just secretly taking pictures the whole time.
I did. I got a picture of me standing up on the stairs. He's playing fiddle on my song. That was exciting.
Yeah, I bet that was cool the first time you heard that after it was all recorded and done and said, here it is. And
it was.
Just to hear that.
Really cool.
That's a special moment.
It was awesome. It was awesome. That's how we've done almost everything we have out besides binge drinking I did with Stormy Cooper years ago when I was 17, I believe. And it's hard to get music out there. You can cut it, and then it just takes so long to get everything in order and get it out there. But yeah, we did that one with Stormy, and then the other one, Coming Down, we actually did. It was through 301, the same guy I did the other ones with, but we did that one at Crystal Clear in Dallas and cut that one there. But besides that, all the other ones have been recorded in the apartment and added on the extra instruments and everything.
Do you know anybody still in that apartment?
No, sir. He moved out of there. He was going to A&M too. Ethan Whitaker with 301. He was going to A&M too, and he lived in an apartment right off Church Street, right by Northgate, off Tabor Street. Tabor Street, however you say it.
I feel like there's a Robert Earl Keen song in this somewhere off of Church Street.
There definitely is. There definitely is.
Yeah.
I love Robert Earl Keen too.
That's the thing is, going to Texas A&M wanting to be a songwriter, there's a lot of, big time Texas songwriters that went there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, when you start talking about Robert Earl Keen and Lyle Lovett in the same sentence, does it feel a little overwhelming to put your name into that?
I know. I'm like, separate me out from that.
Right.
Because
That's a lot of pressure.
I don't want to be compared to that.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure to put on one guy.
Yeah, but I think it's awesome. It kind of A&M wasn't where I was planning to go. My family was actually Longhorns. My sister went to UT.
Oh man!
And then I knew I wanted to major in animal science, and there's no
where
other
else you gonna
choice
go?
besides A&M. And I ended up loving it. I mean, I would go back and redo it right now if I could.
Really?
I would just do it all over again. I'd go to college for the rest of my life.
Was that? I know a lot of guys that would love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So was that a tough discussion to have with the family? By the way, I'm going to Texas A&M.
Well, it wasn't. They just wanted me to do it, and that's a good school too. They were just we were mainly Longhorn there.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't a big deal. They knew I wanted to major in animal science. They just pushed me to do whatever's best for me.
Right. Is your family a ranching family?
No, sir.
Man, you just kind of just broke the mold. It sounds like in every aspect.
Yeah, no, I did it all myself. I just wanted, I don't know, I guess I just wanted something new. You just find what you're passionate about, and then it's hard to change from there.
Right.
Can't do anything else.
Kind of living your dream, aren't you?
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. It's not easy.
No, this music scene is not easy, because that's the thing is, like, if you did this in, maybe Oregon, it would have been a lot easier. There's a lot of talented artists in here. For you to make a name for yourself is really saying something.
There is. It's also, I love it, though, because the only thing I like more than playing music is listening to good music.
So you're a fan.
I'm 100% a fan.
It seems like everybody I talk to on this podcast is a huge music fan first.
My favorite thing to do is sit in a dark bar, drink a cold beer, and listen to a great live band. Yeah. Especially when it's, a little hole-in-the-wall honky-tonk in the middle of nowhere and a band no one's ever heard of.
Never heard of, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, those are cool moments.
That's the best.
But that's the thing is, like, you've created that cool moment for a lot of people.
Well, I hope so.
I mean, you think about that.
Thank you for saying that.
You were an unknown at some point to somebody, and you created that moment and, like, made a lifelong fan.
I don't think I've ever thought about that. That's really cool to think about.
I like to put a lot of pressure on you. So I hear you think you're better than Robert Earl Keen. No,
don't even.
I'm just That is
you're gonna scare me out of here.
Right. Good night, everybody. So, like, where do your songs come from? Is it all real life, personal stuff, stories you hear from somebody, or you just got just a wild, creative imagination and you can build this story in your head?
For the most part, it's, you got to embellish when you're writing songs,
right.
But for the most part, it's straight up, real life. I try and put in there and real feelings, and I try and write. I feel like a lot of my songs I've written, I try and write when I'm feeling things in a very, right at that moment, so I get all the feeling in there.
So you get this powerful emotion in yourself, and it's like, I got to stop down and write.
Yes, sir. And then, later I go back and listen to it. I'm like, man, it wasn't that big of a deal, but it made a good song at the time. Yeah, and just drawing from different things, like Creek Don't Rise. Mm-hmm. We got a creek that runs through it, and when it rains a lot, it'll cover the driveway, and it was that combined with I was spending a lot of time on this farm down in Brenham, and we just lived the whole time on the front porch. I mean, we'd bring the bed out there when it was good weather and sleep outside on the porch. Hardly ever went inside.
Nice.
And so I just combine, two places I spend a lot of time and the emotions I'm feeling while I'm there, and put that into one thing. It's just a lot of drawing from experience and putting everything into what I'm putting out.
It's got the Creek Don't Rise, man. It really has like a cowboy feel. Like you can see some guy pulling out this guitar in the middle of a cattle drive in in a field, middle of nowhere, and playing that song for everybody.
Well, thank you.
It really has that cool, original, authentic cowboy feel to it.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that's lots of, especially the new stuff I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, lots of stuff that's out, has been cut 2 years ago, written 3-4 years ago,
right,
5 years ago, and lots of the new stuff is very, how do I put it, different sound, and lots of agricultural stuff thrown in there and different stuff like that.
Well, they always say an album is like a snapshot of your life at that moment, and that really is. And we all grow and we change and we get married or we have kids or, whatever turmoils that you go through, and your songs are going to change. I mean, honestly, if it was exactly the same, get pretty stale, Jacob.
Yeah.
Kind of boring.
Yeah.
You would get tired of singing those songs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I always, every time I write a song, I just want to put it out right then.
Yeah.
I want people to hear what I'm writing right then, but, that's not really how it goes.
It's kind of, I guess you could do it on social media, and that's about it. But
yeah, I like to, I'm not great at posting videos because I want the song to be, like posting raw videos of a new song. I want the song to be perfect. I want it to go through some, but I'm trying to get better about putting out, videos and new songs I just wrote so people can hear what's going on, the progression and everything.
It's a tough age for all of us, though, honestly, with the social media thing, especially you as artists, because you're very protective of your art and you're very proud of your art. And you, like you said, you want it to be perfect, but it's that constant, everybody tells you, and anybody that tries to manage you is going to be like, you got to be pumping out content all the time, all the time. And you just kind of feel like a whore, honestly. I mean, you really do.
And I'm so not good at posting stuff.
Yeah.
That's just not what I'm focused on, But I'm trying to get better at it. My mom manages me, and every day she's like, hey, have you posted anything today? Have you made people know that you're posting music today? That's how it goes.
It's kind of hard for you to say no to your manager is really what you're telling me.
Yeah. And it's hard, when you got a manager that, you talk to on the phone once a week or whatever, but when it's your mom and you talk to her constantly, it's never just a mom conversation, hey, how you doing? It's
go into
hey,
business
how you doing?
Too.
Also, have you posted anything? Have you written today? Have you messaged this person? Have you done this? Have you emailed this venue? But it helps me. It helps me stay on top of it.
You know what that tells me? It tells me that your mom truly believes in you
and
what
does.
you're doing.
She
and
does.
that's to have a supportive family like that means everything.
I do so much. I mean, I graduated and I was thinking of moving out west. I was thinking of, going to the Panhandle or something like that, finding me a good cattle job. My mom said, how about you actually my parents, they said, how about you take time and you do this music stuff full time and you try and make it work.
Yeah. It seems to be working, man.
I hope
You're
so.
sitting right here.
So. Yeah, I am.
I mean, I feel like that's at least a step.
It is. It definitely is. I was really excited to come up here. I think this is awesome. Y'all are also the first radio station to ever spin my songs, and I really appreciate that.
So when you're playing in some giant arena one day and you get a random text from me saying, hey, buddy, just remember this moment.
You don't even have to text me. There's a backstage pass waiting for you.
I need on that guest list, please. I can't afford your tickets anymore.
Man, I hope that happens one day.
Boy, no kidding, don't you? Yeah, you got to hope that happens. Well, you brought your guitar with you.
Yes, sir.
How about you play us a song? And I know you've been working on some new stuff.
Yes, sir.
We'll talk about that here in a minute. So maybe something new that you're kind of proud of off the upcoming album?
I'll do y'all.
Are you ready for something like that?
I got one. It's called Too Low Down to Measure.
Mm-hmm.
It's a song about when you're in that spot not doing too great. Well, I guess you win some, but you lose a lot. I've been running through my days, just trying to see where I went wrong. But the days all run together, and it's just a big old blur. Well, I've been trying to figure it out, but it's a big old learning curve. Can't you take me back to when I knew what I was doing? At least I could point out the times in my life I knew knew I was losing. Can't you take my life apart and put it back together? I guess this is just a time in my life where I'm too low down to measure. There's things that gnaw at a man worse than dying, and tomorrow could bring the worst of it all, but you're already done with trying. When it feels like hell, and it doesn't even matter, because I'm already too far gone for a happy ever after. Can't you take me back to when I knew what I was doing? Least I could point out the times in my life I knew I was losing. Can't you take my life apart and put it back together? Guess this is just a time in my life where I'm too low down to measure. Too low down to measure.
Good Lord, man, that's a good song.
Thank you so much.
Holy cow. Jacob Ryan Marshall is his name. Now, you've been working on a new album. Tell
Yes,
us
sir.
about it. Where are we in this process?
So there's a lot of stuff going on right now.
Okay.
There's songs we've had stockpiled for a year or two now that we've done acoustic mainly. I mean, I say acoustic, we put, steel and fiddle on them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking maybe a little bit of bass, some stand-up bass, maybe a box drum on one or two, but cut not even in a studio, in an apartment, in a house, like I was saying, and done straight up raw like that. And we got maybe, and there's been like that one's coming out on it. There's one called Music Man. I just did a video with Southbound Sessions that came out a week or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that one's called Music Man, and I think we're going to put it out as a little project called Music Man, and that's a lot of the stuff that we've had saved up for a while, and so that's going to come out probably next. But then I got a whole new set of stuff I'm working on that's completely different sound, that's really older honky-tonk sounding kind of stuff, real lots of ag tinge songs that are on there, and that's a whole different project. And so they're kind of going at the same pace, but coming out at different times. And so there's a lot of new stuff coming out and going on, new musicians we're having on there, and new stuff we're trying out.
That's got to be hard to hold on to that stuff to yourself
It
when
is.
you got all
It
this
is.
going on right now.
It is. There's so much. I feel like everything's going on at one time. It's a little stressful.
I bet it is, man.
But it's awesome. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I'm running the roads on the weekends and playing every show I can, playing new venues I've never played before. I've always wanted to, and getting stuff done and trying to get all this music out at the same time.
So about how many shows are you doing a month now, you think, if you had to guess?
A month. It really depends on the month. Lots of these venues are, outside. They don't do shows in the heat of the summer or the dead of winter. But I do maybe 3 or 4 shows a week in all different places and all different. I mean, I was playing a lot as a trio, me, a steel guitar player, and a fiddle player, lots of harmonies and some real raw stuff. We're doing a lot more full band shows now. And so, I don't know, I guess don't know, 15 shows a month probably.
Oh, so you are staying busy, though.
At the best I can.
So do you have a set band with you, or are you still piecing that together some?
Well, I got me and my fiddle player, my fiddle players, I guess I should say, and my guitar player, we mainly stick together. We do most of our stuff together. And then I got a couple different drummers, bass players that, down on the east side of Houston, we all trade around musicians. We all wear each other out.
Yeah.
And
I know there's a lot of places, like if you go out to Lubbock, you can use some musicians out there. You go up to Wichita Falls, and there's some musicians up there. But yeah.
Yeah, we all we switch around a lot. I mean, you never know who's gonna be playing with me anymore. But yeah, there's some steady guys. We've been playing shows together for a good while, so that's been going all right. But I'm trying to get a steady band together. It's hard when you can't put them on payroll or nothing. But
right.
But yeah, we've gotten it together pretty well.
So, if somebody wants to come join your band,
oh yeah,
they just want to come play for the door. Here we go, huh?
Call me, holler at me. Anybody, if you play, I could use you. Hit me up.
But man, I mean, you are really on to something, man. You really are.
I really appreciate it.
Especially like that new song. It's just like, God, like, I don't know what it is, man, but you've got this voice that's going to connect with people. And, like, I've already had fun sharing one song. I can't wait to share these other ones with people.
Well, thank you so much.
I see good things for you on the horizon, bud.
Thank you.
Who you been writing with? Do you write all your songs by yourself? Do you get some help?
Everything I've done so far has been just me.
Oh, you're pretty selfish. I got it.
Yeah. I'm trying. I want to do some co-writing stuff. And actually, last night, me and two of my good buddies were supposed to do a Zoom call and try and write some stuff, but it didn't pan out last night. I'd love to write with people. It's hard for me because when I write a song, I don't show it to anyone, and it's done because
there's nothing wrong with that.
It gets makes me nervous, I guess I'd say. I'm like, I put all my feelings into my songs, and it's hard for me to open myself up to people before it's done.
So there's got to be one person, though, the first person that hears these songs that you want to share them with. Is that Mom?
That's my mom.
That's awesome.
That's my mom. I finished
a
song.
Is she actually honest? Or is everything the best thing she's ever heard?
She's honest.
That's what you need That's exactly what you need on
Shayne
your team.
always fun.
Somebody that believes in you but is honest with you.
She's like, that line? You were going to sing that line? I think you should change that. I'm like, thanks, Mom.
Like, that was the one that made the whole song for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Jacob Ryan Marshall is his name. Keep a lookout for him. Any idea when some of this new music is going to be available for, like at least a radio station in Fort Worth to play?
So
just ask,
Yeah, the radio personality of the year in Texas country music to play. Yeah. Congrats on that, by the way.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So the stuff
cost me a lot of money.
Yeah.
Bought them votes.
Oh man. The stuff we're finishing Sunday, hopefully we're going into mix and master. I'm trying to be hands-on with that, making it exactly how I want.
You were right.
And once that's done, I'm hoping it won't take but another month or two to get those out there as singles.
Good.
And then once we piece all these acoustic things together, I'm hoping these acoustic older things, I'm calling the project Music Man.
Mm-hmm.
I got a song called Music Man, and I'm naming it that, and hopefully that'll be out in a few months. I'm hoping by the fall, by October or so.
Please send it to me.
Yes, sir, I will.
I'm begging you.
I will.
Please.
I will.
Because I can't wait to share this stuff.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you doing that.
Jacob Ryan Marshall, he drove hours to get here today just to do this interview and going to drive hours back. Man, I cannot thank you enough for doing that.
Well, thank you for having me.
Do that. It's been a pleasure, and I can't wait to see where your career goes, buddy.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
This has been The Ranch Sit-Down. To hear more, check out our free app. Just search for 95.9 The Ranch or find it wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. New episodes every week.